The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, an iNetworks communication station.
WVTC Radio. Sit back and relax. Tune in. With Elder Miller, where we bring light to darkness. Come on in and enjoy this show. We got a nice one for you today.
Come on, Chicago. Make some noise. MAPC. You know whether I'm right. You know, Lord, whether I'm wrong. Yeah, you whether I'm right or wrong. Yeah, yeah. You know whether I'm right. You know.
Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, everybody. It is that time. It is 7 o'clock hour. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Tonight, as always, on Monday nights at 7, is the Good News with Elder Miller. Now, I know I don't quite look like Elder Miller. I'm holding it down for him tonight. At a certain point, he's going to join us and be a part of the broadcast. But in between time, we're going to just rock with just me tonight. Hope that's all right for our listening audience. I think we see that we have 2 people in the building, in the space right now. So thank you for joining us. Please take the time to, like this post, share this post. If you have any comments, we certainly want to hear from you. And, we're going to get things started. We do have some two guests that will be joining us later in the hour. And we're super excited to talk about I think it was last week, when Pastor G was here, we were together, we were talking about, and we ended the show with Miss D's and the incredible work that she was doing and just caring for other people, sharing food and having the opportunity to partake and share in that again. If you can give monetarily, if you can support in your time, we're going to talk about that with Miss D's this evening. We're also going to kick it with Gerald. I want to make sure I say his last name correctly. Gerald Norwood as well. He'll be joining the show. So we'll have Miss D's and we'll have Gerald Norwood joining us later on in the hour. And so, each week, Pastor G has a special scripture, and I want to be able to just say simply, I'm not going to say the same scripture that he does because that's his brand. I want to take from that. But there's a passage that says, and I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit, that says, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him. And so that's what I'm doing tonight, and prayerfully to do every night, is have an opportunity to lean not on my own understanding. And the reason I mention that is, tomorrow is, I just look at what's happening in the world. Tomorrow is the final election, or how do you do it? Say in Georgia, the election between Warnock and Herschel Walker. And I don't know about you guys. I've been following that thing, and it has just been crazy to me to see almost, I don't know how to describe the lunacy that has been taking place. And what I believe, and again, these are my views. These don't have to be your views. What should be the obvious choice, and that not being Herschel Walker. Everything that he represents or has shown has been in total opposition to what the role as a U.S. senator should be. And again, I'm not trying to say that all politicians are great or that they don't need to be brought to account, as well as all politicians, including Raphael Warnock. But he definitely has shown himself to be a worthy candidate and to be a worthy senator as opposed to Mr. Walker. And it appears that he is only in the position that he's in because of the GOP wanting to have someone seemingly that they know will continue their agenda. And when you say, well, what's that agenda? Well, I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes before we get, completely throughout the hour. But I want to ask my incredible show producer here tonight. I'm not seeing, I want to make sure that I'm seeing the right screen up right now, and I don't quite see that. And I still see the name being a different name. So when you have the opportunity to help me out with that, that would be great, because I don't quite see that. I want to be able to see our guests when they arrive. There's so much to talk about tonight, so I do want to talk about what your feelings about this election. And I know you're like, well, Dorian, that's in Georgia, and we in Illinois. Um, but I think it's important for us to talk about Georgia in the way that I'm going to talk about it. And other people have already mentioned it, but I'm just going to, reiterate the importance of why Georgia should be on it. Georgia's on everybody's mind. You see what I just did there? Georgia on everybody's mind. Shout out to Ray Charles. But what I'm trying to say is this, that right now the Senate is split 50-50. And those of you, already know that the vice president, then when there's a tiebreaker, she is the tiebreaker, our vice president. And that's all well and dandy. And, so the Democrats still hold the Senate. However, if they were to win the seat tomorrow, and then it becomes a 51-49 event in doing that, then that frees up, that actually makes more room for things to get done. You say, well, how is that possible? Well, when you have it 51-49, then it allows for those that are on various the senators that are on various committees, they do not have to position themselves to be in a stalemate. And then, so if that's the case, then they have more of a free reign to kind of maneuver legislatively to do things more effectively. Whereas if they keep it at the stalemate that it is, or it swings the other, well, yeah, if it swings the other way, obviously we know we're in trouble. But if it swings the other way, 51-49, there's more opportunity for things to be done that benefit you and I. Now, some people may argue like it doesn't matter and all of that. And this is not a political show. I'm just sharing a couple of opinions. Y'all can feel what you feel. In fact, I want to hear from you. If I'm saying something you think is out of pocket, you please say what you got to say. Give me all the feels. I want to hear it. But I'm going to tell you what I feel in this regard for just a moment. So I would not say that I am a Democrat, I'm speaking for myself, or a Republican, but I strive to try to vote in what is best interest for me and my community. And right now, what's in best interest for me and my community lines up more on the Democratic side. And you say, well, that, historically, Black folks have been voting democratically. And you're right. You're right. But I would say but certainly with the last election and what is coming up in 2024 and what the GOP has shown us is that their allegiance is unto themselves. And if the folks that they're most concerned with are really people that don't look like us. I'm just being real. That's how it appears to me. You can have a different argument. And again, I encourage you to share your thoughts and your feelings in regards to that. But this is the good news with Elder Miller. I don't want to get caught up in, doom and gloom and all of that. But I just need to express these things. And hopefully you guys can jump on in as well, so that I can hear from you and know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So that being said, I want to switch the topics for just a little bit, hear from you. The holidays are coming up, and there's a lot that's happening in the world today. I want to, hopefully we'll have an opportunity once our other guests join to talk about that as well. But man, the Christmas season is upon us. I don't know about you guys, but really, Christmas season has been upon us even before Thanksgiving. Once Halloween came and left, uh, Thanksgiving wasn't even discussed. It was more about Christmas. And again, you can talk about the whole commercial aspect of it, and people shopping and all of that. And certainly that is the case. But I would be remiss if I'm like, when did this happen? When did we forget about Thanksgiving? When did we not take time to just give thanks? Right. But then now we are in full blown Christmas season. Right. And I would love to hear from you guys and tell me your comments as it relates to, how you're shopping, how you're planning to, give gifts or not give gifts. There's some people who've opted like, look, I'm not doing it. There's too much going on. Everything is, too high. I'm going to take a, step back from that. Some people are sort of not as, engaged in that regard. And quite honestly, sometimes the holidays can be very difficult for people. So that's also a consideration. So I would love to hear from you in terms of how you're handling these next coming weeks, how you're handling and, navigating how you're spending your money, where you're spending your money, and, the impact of that's having on your family. So, we'll take a few minutes just to really consider that. So I want to take a moment here. I see there are two people. If y'all hear me, I need to hear from you. Come on, shout out, say something, throw the kitchen sink, throw your shoe, do something. I need to hear from you guys. And again, if there's an opportunity because I feel kind of blinded right now. I don't see anything up on the screen. So from my producer, if there's anything that I can do on my end so that I can see the screen and see because I can't even see me right now. And switch it out so that it says the good news with Elder Miller. So I just want to put that note out there. You're doing a fantastic job. It's all good. But I do want to hear from you guys. I do want your comments about what Christmas means to you. I do want you to understand. And again, the scripture that I'm leading with tonight, and in all things that you do, lean not in your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledging Him. And so I just want to, if I didn't say it or wasn't clear before, part of the reason why I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about, I've been led to talk about it in this way. And though, again, our show is not per se a political show, but we want to be able to address, every type of situation, be it politically, be it, that is too far out for me to see. It says, oh, you know what? We're going to be right back. We're going to take a moment. We have a couple of technical difficulties. I apologize. I stopped in mid-sentence, but we'll be back in about 60 seconds. We have a couple of technical difficulties. Be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Peace.
Matthew 9 and 29 says, according to your faith, be it unto you. Ramon Perry in Ministry and Praise Chorale comes to tell you, you can get what you need according to your faith.
All right, all right, all right. So, hey everybody, I think we fixed those technical difficulties. Thank you if you're just joining in. This is the Good News with Elder Miller. I am the co-host, Dorian H. Nash, and as you can notice, I'm here by myself tonight. I'm holding it down tonight, and maybe later on in the hour, Pastor G will join us for a bit of a discussion. But as it stands right now, it is just little old me. And I'm excited to be here. We have some guests that will be joining us again within the hour. We're going to talk about a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Pastor G was we ended the show sharing a bit of video from a wonderful woman, Miss Dees, who was out just sharing love, sharing food, and giving to those in need. And so there's an opportunity for us to expand on that during this holiday season, and we're going to talk about the fundraiser that we're having as it relates to that. Again, once they join us again a little bit later in the hour, but I wanted to just say thank you, thank you, thank you for those that have joined us. I see that we have two guests that are in the building right now. When I say building, I mean this metaphorically. That are watching right now. We thank you for watching. We ask that you share, you post, that you comment. Let us know what you're feeling. Let us know what you're thinking about the show and how it's hopefully helping you. Our motto here is that we don't help you, we try to hope you, because help is temporary, but hope is eternal. And so that's the mantra that we speak on. That's the ways in which that we try to embed this show so that people walk away feeling hopeful, even when we talk about challenging things or situations that are not so great. But we have an opportunity to really give people hope and light and love in the ways that they're dealing with the ways that they're dealing with. And so before we had the break, I was sharing about some of the things that we're dealing with. Is the holiday season and how we jump from Halloween to Christmas. And Thanksgiving seems to every year gets to never really get mentioned. And I was wanting to hear your comments and think and share with me, why do you think that is? And certainly we can understand the commercialism of it. But before I even spoke about that, I think I was talking about the political race that will culminate tomorrow evening between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock, who is our current senator in Georgia, and the importance of why that 51st seat means so much for our country. And never before has Georgia, think about it, you all, Georgia has, um, for the most part, always been considered a red state. And so here's this situation where it turns blue, and it really has major impact for the entire country if it's able to remain blue. So I know, again, here we are in Illinois, and so that does not affect us directly in the moment, but it does affect us in the long run, is particularly as we're thinking about going into the new cycle of 2024 and all the shenanigans that are going to be happening with that. But again, I would be remiss. I don't want to just focus on that. Y'all notice I between before the break and now, I had to take my other sweater off. I had two sweaters on. I was like, oh Lord, it's getting hot, like hot dog water in here. So I had to take that sweater off, and so that I could, not pass out in the middle of this space. But as you can see, we are still not back in the studio. Hopefully, in the coming weeks. And again, I know you've been hearing us talk about all the great things that we anticipate to happen and are planning for in 2023. But they truly are amazing things. Just hold on, just hold tight. It's coming. But as you see, we're not back in the studio yet. We are here in the owner's home right now, as he's doing. Mr. Franklin Morris, as he's been doing a lot of the shows from home here as well. So it's been a special treat. I was just sharing before we went on air. I personally have taken up yeah, I don't know if y'all could tell, but after COVID or during COVID, I done put on a few pounds, right? So I said for these next 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, I'm just not eating sugar, and I'm gonna see what that do, to see how I handle that. So as soon as I walked in, I see these little mini cupcakes. They look delicious. And of course, this is my first day of no sugar. I've not had sugar all day. As soon as I saw them, I wanted to eat. There's like 12 of them there. I wanted to eat 11 of them, right? But they moved them out my way. And I'm not gonna do it, y'all. But I'm just being transparent. Okay. We all got situations and things that we're dealing with right now. I'm trying not to eat sugar for the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna see what that do, just see how my body reacts, and then obviously if I can take it further. But um, I'm gonna eat during Christmas. There's no need of me lying to myself saying that I'm not gonna eat all that delicious food that's gonna be happening between with my family and the people I'm visiting and friends. So I'm not even gonna lie to myself about that. But I do want to do it in moderation. I do want to do it in a way that's not detrimental to my health. So I think y'all can relate to that. And if there's anyone that wants to comment on that about or help me in my sugar fast, um, please, 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 love to hear from you and see what we can do from there. So again, for those of you just joining, this is Good News with Elder Miller. He is not here this evening, at least not currently in this hour. We do expect him hopefully shortly, maybe to pop in if possible, and if not, we still holding it down. But I do anticipate in the coming minutes to have two other guests with us, and we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about a particular fundraiser that was started. Oh, forgive me. Was started a few weeks ago, as it relates to the heart and that Miss Dees has had, just to love people, to give out of her own, to give from her, and then to share that with other people. So she fixed some meals and then took it out to those that could really use a good meal, and she fed people. And so we want to expand upon that. And so we're having a fundraiser, and when they come on the show, we're going to talk about that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I see our beloved leader in the room. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? It's a little low.
All right, I hear you just fine. Let's see if we can turn the see if we can turn it up a little bit. But you so glad that you joined us. How long do we have you for? Are you here for just a few minutes? You popping in, or you talk to me a little bit? Uh-oh, he froze. Well, again, sometimes it happens. We have technical difficulties. Hopefully, in the next few minutes, we can get him back into the room, and you guys get to hear from uh, our Elder Miller. He is the hardest working brother this side of heaven. He's trying to teach classes, be in this show, be there for his family, and there's just a lot that's been going on. But you know his heart. If anybody that knows, oh, he's back. Can you hear me? Okay. I see your face, Pastor G. Can you hear me? All right. Well, we're still working on you hearing me, and that's fine. Let me see here. He said the sound was a little low. Let's try to turn that up a little bit. But again, listen, guys, you know me. We've had technical difficulties, over various situations. You just got to keep it moving. You got to keep talking. You got to be able to, keep focus about what's happening. So I was mentioning earlier about the fundraiser, and you have an opportunity, if you are so moved by what we described tonight, to share in that love and that light that I just described by Miss Dees. So one of the things that we're needing are the tanks to keep the food warm and all of that. We're gonna kind of do it on a bigger scale, and hopefully, once Pastor G is able to come back online, he can speak to it even more in depth. But if you're so inclined to want to contribute and be a blessing to someone else, I want to make sure that I share um, the the event a little bit. So, and again, we're going to talk about it some more. But the event will happen this coming Saturday. That will be December 10th at 10 a.m. People were asking are going to be meeting at Lower Wacker and Roosevelt and Canal Street to serve our brothers and sisters who may be, struggling at the moment, or may need some assistance, or just a kind smile, or just somebody to say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. Just keep pushing, brother. Keep pushing, sister. And here's some food, to kind of, keep your belly warm, but to know that somebody's thinking about you." I see Pastor G, you back on the line. Can you hear me?
I barely can hear you. It sound like you on Mr. Microphone. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. I hear
Oh,
you
you
just
hear me?
fine.
Okay, so maybe I need headphones or something. But yeah, praise God. Thanks for holding it down. We having some technical difficulties on. Yeah.
Yeah, everything goes haywire when you're not here.
But
It's
I
all
just
good.
wanted to come on. I'm actually in a teaching. I'm in a
I
ministerial
was just
teaching class
sharing
right
that.
now. But anyway, um, you should have Miss D checking in here shortly, and you should have Gerald checking in here shortly. So
Absolutely.
I know you're
I've
gonna do
been prepping
hopefully an
our
amazing job. I
visitors to
just
let
wanted to
them
come
know.
on, pop on in, and tell the
Yeah,
people hi. We want to thank you all for being on tonight. So we ask for you all to please share uh, and tag and let us know. Please let um, Dorian Nash know what's going on and what we got a lot of stuff going on in the future. So we want you all to be really involved in what we got going on. And I know you all are in for a great show tonight. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna try to stay on as long as I can, sis. So take it away.
well, look, I want to just share your Cash App, if I may, before, and we'll share it a few times over the night. But if you are moved to want to contribute, on when they meet on December 10th, the intention is to have, chili, to give out chili and hot chocolate, and so in order for us to do that, we need your support to get enough to feed as many people as possible. And so the cash app for that is the $ capital G Gerald, and then capital D Drives. So the cash app handle is Gerald Drives. Um, capital G for Gerald, capital D for Drives, Gerald Drives. And please, 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 if you're moved to want to be a blessing, if you're moved to want to help support us in this way, so that we can give out as much as possible to those that are in need, and you're moved to do so. And again, further, as we talk to Miss Dees and we talk to Gerald as they come on the show to share their heart, and to share the reasons behind, um, why they're doing what they're doing. Because it's not about show. It really is about, in this time, in this season, just to think about something and do something outside of yourself that's bigger than you, to do something that impacts somebody in a very direct way in that moment, in this season. Because it's real easy to say, well, I don't have much, and so I can't really do anything. But everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to feel at least thought of during this season. And so this is your opportunity to do so. So I want to just encourage you tremendously to do just that. I want to. Oh, thank you so much. You put the cash up there. Please, please, please. This is not about just begging for money or anything like that, but it is an opportunity to give, and like I said, be a blessing to somebody else. I know I've kind of been all over the board. I think our two guests are running a little bit late, so they're not in the waiting room just yet. So that gives me opportunity to talk to y'all some more about just things that are happening. And one of the segments that we have on the show is the "Say It Ain't So" segment. And so one thing that I want to mention, and this, it's just real. There's just things that are happening in the world that just don't make sense. And I don't know about you guys, but I probably watch TikTok more than I should. All right, I'm just gonna be real. I get to stream, or I get to swiping, and before I know it, I've lost an hour, or 45 minutes doing that. And I think that's a real issue for a lot of us, right? This social media stuff. But one thing that I saw on social media, and again, sometimes you have to take things with a grain of salt. You don't know if it's for real or not. But there's a story that's circulating, and I believe it's also been in our regular news, where this young boy, I think he was no more than 7 years old, um, took his mother's life, right? And seemingly over So let me describe the situation for those of you who may not have heard the story. And this really requires prayer. This is a true story. This really requires prayer and just an understanding of what it is and how the social media and how the different things impact us, right? So, as I understand it, and again, if anyone is familiar with the story and wants to comment, love to hear from you. But as I understand it, the young mother wakes her son up. Like I said, I think he's roughly 7 years old, maybe younger. Wakes her son up, and preparing for the day, class, whatever it may be. And he requested. He said, "Hey, Ma, I really want this particular toy, and I want you to get me this particular toy." And at the time, she said, "Son, I can't really afford that right now. We can talk about it later, but right now I need you to get up. But right now, I don't think that's gonna happen." Right? She goes downstairs to, she's doing some laundry. She goes downstairs to get the laundry. As she's turning to go back upstairs, she's met with a gun in her face from said little boy, her son, and he pulls the trigger, shoots her in the face. Ultimately, she dies. When the police are called, the little boy goes upstairs. Let me preface this. The little boy goes upstairs. He has an older sister that's also in the house. She comes running downstairs like, "What just happened?" He tells her, "Hey, basically, I just shot Mom." They call the police. Police come out and they rule it as an accidental death, right? Um, but the sister apparently called the police back and said, "You know what? As much as this pains me, I think we need to look at my brother a little bit harder. I think this might have been intentional." And the reason she says that is that, again, going back to this toy that she wanted, um, and by her saying no, he wanted to get that toy because I guess maybe later that day or the next day, he attempted to order it online through Amazon. And I guess his sister shut it down. And the fact that he didn't really show a ton of remorse. And the fact that her brother had been in treatment, in terms of dealing with some mental aspects of his dealing with empathy. And so that story, if all of that is true, it just broke my heart on many levels. Obviously, that young man is dealing with something that um, ended up taking his mother's life. He's dealing with something that could be overlooked because he is so young, and it is now the loss of his mother because of that. And so that just really strikes me as really, really sad. And I wanted to hear and comment from you guys first, if you've heard the story, any of your comments that you may have. And again, I don't want this to be a downer. Hi there, Mr. Norwood. I was just sharing a story. Can you hear me okay? You you can't hear me?
I can't hear.
Okay, hold on a second here. We've had a few technical difficulties. Bear with us. Um, so I'm looking to my producer in the studio to help me. What can I do here?
I
Volume
still
up.
can't hear.
Okay.
Maybe I should leave and come back. Is that a good
Okay.
idea?
Okay, guys. I sure do appreciate everyone's patience as we've been dealing with some, like I said, some technical difficulties tonight. But we keep pressing forward. I think before Mr. Norwood joined us, I was sharing this obviously sad story and this situation, and I really wanted to hear from you guys commenting on this. First, had you heard the story? Secondly, what this has meant, what this means, and how should we as a community address it? Um, that being said, um, Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, awesome. So glad you're here joining us this evening. So good
Hi,
to see
Misty.
you.
Hi, I've heard so many great things about you.
Oh, okay. Well, so glad that most of them are hopefully true.
Yeah, you almost bigger than Deion Sanders.
Oh no, I don't want to be that big. But thank you so much for joining us. I want to take just a moment. I want to give you a moment to kind of share with the audience um, what it is that you wanted to share and the ways in which that you're helping with this fundraiser. So I want to give you the floor, cede the floor for a minute or two, and then
Okay.
as our other guest joins us, give her the moment as well to cede the floor. So for about 60 seconds or so, please
It
feel free
won't
to share.
it won't take that long. My
Okay.
great friend Gerald Miller invited me to this event. He and I have worked together on so many endeavors and assisting the homeless population here in Chicago. And I am just, first of all, blessed to be able to participate. Like I said, he said so many great things about you. So I am just honored to be here with you tonight. And I praise God for you. And we're looking to have a great success, helping God's people.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you for those kind words. Thank you. I see Mr. Miller is back in the building.
There
Hel-
he is.
Hey there. Can you hear us okay?
Man, I don't know what's going on.
Hear you
I don't
perfectly
know what's
though.
going on with the value. What's up, Gerald with a J?
What's going
Man,
on with
thank
Gerald
God
with
for
a
you, my
G?
brother. I'm gonna let my sister hold it down. I really don't know what's going on with this sound. The technical the
That's
technical demons running loose tonight. But
that's because you so handsome. You so
I'll touch
handsome.
base with
They
you in
didn't want
the
your
AM. I got to get back in this class. I just wanted to come on and say thank you, brother, for coming on with us.
no
Oh,
doubt.
thank you. So listen, as stay with us as long as you can, Pastor G, and then obviously, oh, he checked out. He may join us again.
Okay.
And while we're waiting for Miss Dees to join us, I just want to ask you. I don't know if you heard some of the story that I was sharing and the impact. I think there's a connection. Again, we're going to talk about a couple of things.
Uh-huh.
I want to talk about obviously Miss Dees and the ways that we're supporting in this fundraiser. But before you came on, I was sharing this unfortunate situation that involved this young man. I think he was, as it's been described to me, he's under 7 years old. And due to him not getting his way,
Wow.
ended up getting a gun and taking his mother's life. Right.
Yeah. About that.
And obviously sad all around on all different levels. Because even if he was not in his right mind at that time, I have to believe that at some point he will be in his right mind. But the damage is done, and the guilt and the shame that will come behind that, he's going to need lifelong help.
Yeah.
But my point in mentioning this story is that there, I don't know about you, but there seems to be our attention spans are less as it relates to social media.
Yeah.
Things are, you gotta tweet, in so many characters, even though I think they've expanded that. You gotta do these videos in 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I have seen a direct impact of it when I relate to my own daughters. Um, I think anxiety levels are up for our young people in ways that I didn't experience growing up. And I think it's for all the things that social media is and the incredible tool that it is. I think there's not enough discussion around the impact, the negative impact that it's had on us. And I just wanted to get your views on that. If you agree,
Well,
disagree, some of your insight.
first of all, there is too much access to guns.
Mm-hmm.
A 7-year-old should not have any access, knowing where the gun is, how to get to it. I remember when I was 7, we played with toy pistols,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but that's as far as it went.
That's as far as it went.
And growing up, you and I probably in the same age range. I'm probably a
Mm.
little older than you. You look like you just out your teens.
Bless you in your ministry.
But
I'll take it.
at 7 years old, we were playing with army men,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
little plastic ones.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Uh, the last thing that was on our minds was killing somebody.
Right.
And even when I got older, uh, if I didn't get my way with my parents, it was like, oh well. I had,
Right.
I probably mumbled some stuff under my breath. Ooh, I can't stand you.
Right.
We
And
all,
don't let them hear it. Right. What you
oh
say?
my, oh my
Yeah.
lips would have been back here somewhere.
Right.
Uh, but they, this generation, they see so much, they hear so much foolishness, and I believe we are the whole village that has to help and
Mm-hmm.
assist.
Yes.
Uh, I was fortunate to be raised by a two parent home,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not the case many times now, and we've got to be careful. I mean, Lord have mercy, 7 year old now. And then I heard they were thinking about trying him as an adult.
Right. Which doesn't serve anybody. But I,
It,
I and again, I think it is important to note that these are, this is a black family, is my
yeah.
understanding.
Hmm.
Um, Little black boy, um, and I hate to put the race card in there because the consideration would be if he were a different color, would they be trying to try him as an adult? I'm not
Probably.
so I'm not so sure that they would be.
That's not the
Um,
race card. That's a reality. No, they probably wouldn't.
so there's something to be said about just how we see one another, our humanity.
Yeah.
But to that question though about, and again, I don't want to use up all this time, but I do think, especially right now, as we're heading into the holiday season, I have real concerns. Everything is so high.
Oh my.
Everything, food, gas, you name it, everything has gone up. And but the job market has not, caught up with that. And people have lost jobs and still looking for work in different situations. I feel like there's a heightened sense of just, for lack of a better word, depravity. People are just out here. People
Yeah.
are on edge. And do you think that social media plays a part in the anxiousness and the angst that people are feeling today?
Yeah, I do. It's not only social media, but it's the devil also.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
his
being used in that,
his
considering used that way.
influence,
Hmm.
his influence. Because I made a post on Facebook, might have been last week,
Hmm.
that I was tired of seeing people's booties.
You mean just literally just seeing people's
Every dance,
backsides?
everything has to be either dealing with sex or
Mm.
something like that. First of all, I got a big booty at the house. I've been married 32 years. I got my own drawers. And but you have to, first of all, we need to pray like never before.
Mm.
And not just for stuff.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
most
so true.
people
Yeah.
most of our prayers are selfish. They're self-centered. Lord bless me, bless my family. But
Right.
there are people out here that are suffering mentally. uh Depression, you mentioned this time of the year, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yeah.
because it's not even our birthday, and we're looking for gifts, you know
Yeah.
uh
I'm reminded. This is years ago. I have two grown daughters, but when my daughters were very young, my youngest daughter was having a birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and we were giving her gifts. But every time that we gave her a gift, my oldest daughter would take the gift and say, "Thank you," like it was hers.
Yeah.
Now she was a baby, she was a child, you know.
Right.
Um, but I do think that that mentality, in some ways, even in adults, is present, and I don't quite, I don't quite
Because
get it, and but it's there.
think about it. We're living in a land where they equate success with stuff. You
Well, I
know,
mean, but I think a
you're,
lot of people do, not just kids, but I think adults
oh,
do too. Yeah.
listen, I don't use this saying anymore because I don't like to use that word crazy anymore.
Mhm.
But I used to have a saying you never have a crazy child unless you have a crazy adult.
Mm. Okay.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
like that term crazy anymore. I try not to use it because some people it's not crazy, it's mental health issues.
But
And
I get your point. Like, if you have a child that has certain behavioral issues or whatever, look first to the parent, because they probably got the similar situation, and then they just then been able to pass it down to their kid. I guess
yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
and it's so different from when I was a child, probably.
Hmm.
Same thing with you. Times have really changed. And think about it. These are the good old days for our children and our grandchildren. And that's scary to me
Yeah, that is kind of scary. But
because
what can we do though? How can we circumvent some of this? Because,
well, I,
I mean,
I tell
obviously
a
we
lot
can
of
pray.
I tell a lot of people in church, first of all, please loose me with that phony I love you in Jesus name.
Hmm.
First of all, he never told you to just, the Bible says that God so loved the world. That didn't say that he just loved the church. So we've
Hmm.
got to begin to show love instead of just talking about it. Oh, I love you. I love you. No, 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 no. If you love me and if you see, now there are people that we won't be able to reach. I'm a realist in that thing. You won't be able to reach everybody, but there are some who we walk past every Sunday while we going to shout. You know what we
Yeah.
while we got our hands lifted up. The same people had their hands extended, asking for help,
Yes.
and many times we ignore them. That's why I am so honored, first of all, to get to know you and the work that you're doing because from the stories that Gerald with a G said, you extend not only your hands but you extend your heart.
Oh, well, I so appreciate those kind words. It is. Uh-oh. It says my mic is muted. How do I
I
do
can
that?
hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate those words. I think it is a team effort between myself and Pastor G. I think that what we have seen, I just believe God has blessed me in so many different ways, from things that even he blesses me even with the things that he doesn't give me.
All
If
right
that
now.
makes sense.
It, it makes
Does that make sense?
it makes
That
sense. This crazy man.
And so there have been situations or times when I thought, well, man, God, I really wanted X, Y, and Z. And then I'll see in hindsight, oh, Father, I'm so glad you didn't make that happen, because if
Wow.
then this would have happened. So um, I'm appreciative. I'm going through a situation right now, and I can't really go into details about it, but
Uh-huh.
I'm just sitting in wait because everybody else is kind of losing their mind around me. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, whether it goes this way or if it goes to the right or to the left, I'm still good. And I think that that's the thing that has a lot of people struggle with, trying to find that balance that says no matter
Yeah.
what happens, I'm still good. Yes, I
That's
want
because
X to happen, or yes, I want
you're
that to happen. But if it
you
doesn't happen, I'm still good.
you're standing on a firm foundation. A lot of people today, sad to say, they don't have that they don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have anyone to share with. And And if they do share with somebody, it's probably somebody just as wicked as they think they are. And so it's like, you know, it's bad. We were talking about the gun. You know, they can easily tell you where the guns are if they really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Because even with the device that we're holding right now, the cell phone,
Yeah.
there's a little tracking mechanism in it.
Come on now. Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
why couldn't the gun manufacturers put those little tracking mechanism in guns?
Ooh, you talking something right now. They don't want that to happen.
No, they don't want that to happen. And why are you flooding our neighborhoods with so many guns? And how long have you been black? I know that's a stupid question.
Let me see. Since 1965.
Girl, you look good to be 57.
Yep. Oh, that's quick math. I'm not mad at that.
That's
Yes.
because I'm 58. I was born in 64. That wasn't no quick math. I ain't that smart. But the gun, the Second Amendment about the
Mm-hmm.
gun rights and all that,
Mm.
the Amendment was never written for African Americans.
No, it was not. Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, they deleted parts of the Constitution.
Come on.
See, people don't get an under. That was it's just like the Star Spangled Banner
Oh,
when
yes.
when
Yes.
when Kaepernick was kneeling against, he wasn't kneeling against America. He was kneeling against something else. And the Star Spangled.
Practices. Yeah.
Do you know that that's not the original Star Spangled Banner?
I appreciate you mentioning this. I did for those that know me, I work in art. That's
Hmm.
and so we had Bethany Collins, who's a renowned artist, did a whole installation around the Star Spangled Banner and the lyrics that are
Oh,
never sung regarding that. And there are lyrics that are speaking against slavery, lyrics that are speaking against the ways in which um, that we're not seeing each other's humanity. Those lyrics would speak to that, but we don't sing those lyrics. We never sing
and
those lyrics.
and actually, there are lyrics in the original Star Spangled Banner that tells you that actually speaks against African Americans.
Yes, yes.
And
There was almost how do I say this? There were those that can you hear me okay?
yeah,
Okay. There were some lyrics that were pro-slavery, and then there were some lyrics that were anti-slavery. And they were but the predominant ones for a long time were those that were pro-slavery because it came
correct,
up out of the South.
correct.
And so but we don't talk about that history. Like you said, most people don't
It's
even know
it,
that that took place.
listen. I didn't find out about the Tulsa
Yeah, yeah.
until I was way past grown
Same here. Way past grown.
because they didn't teach us that. They didn't teach us about Black Wall Street and about how many people died then. The only thing we learned about was Martin Luther King, maybe Harriet Tubman,
Right.
and basically that was it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you're telling the truth.
so
And it's
now,
still being perpetuated even now.
yeah.
That's
So
why,
now,
you know,
now our heroes are rap artists. Now all of them aren't bad. All of
sure.
them are bad, just like all us preachers aren't good.
Come on now. Yeah.
Woo, did I say that? Yeah, I
Yes,
said
you
it.
did. You said it. You said it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Uh,
They heard it.
but the profanity and the negativity,
Hmm.
anytime I was riding back from Tennessee with my two millennial children,
Come on. Yes.
and we were riding back in the car, and the music was, I had such a headache.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't understand what they were saying.
But then the little bit that you could pick out, you're like, what? Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
You are not alone. You are not alone, sir. It's not.
one
It's
of
a
the
whole different
things is
thing.
one of the things that we've lost as a society is fear of your parents or reverence and respect. Because there is no way in heck that my parents, I'm I'm not gonna say they never heard me curse, but they never heard me curse intentionally. Even
Right.
even when I was
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah. My children are grown and they don't cuss around me.
No,
They
you
don't,
know,
and they know that's the expectation. But I will say this because we're about to run out of time, and I want to
okay.
have a moment to and it seems like Miss D's obviously had some sort of difficulty joining in,
Yeah.
but I'm really glad that we got a chance to talk.
Yeah.
But I want to just remind everybody that this event that we're talking about going to Lower Wacker, and I think that speaks to what we've been talking about these last 15 minutes about seeing people's humanity, about treating people as you would want to be treated, no matter
Correct.
what the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So on December 10th, which is this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock, there's going to be a host of people that we're going to kind of invade Lower Wacker and just share a smile, a hug, and
Yeah.
some chili and some hot chocolate with some folks.
Also,
And
I
oh,
I I, I actually was gonna talk to Gerald
mm-hmm,
because they made a lot of changes on Lower Wacker.
mm-hmm,
There are not a lot of homeless people down there anymore.
okay,
They they put up these big spikes down there.
they have.
And
But I think there's some other locations. He says Lower Wacker,
yes,
Roosevelt,
yes,
and Canal
yeah,
Street.
yeah. He knows the other locations that
Yes.
we normally go to. So
Yeah. So we'll be able to make an impact in those
yeah,
areas and, to, like I said, spread some love to say, hey, we're thinking about you. Hey, we see you. Hey,
yes,
you matter, you know.
yeah.
That can go a long way for somebody between them pushing forward and continuing to fight or giving up. And we
Amen.
want to give, and our mantra on this show is we don't want to help you, we want to hope you, because help is temporary, but hope is eternal. And so that's really what we want to strive to do. And sometimes just giving somebody a meal and giving them a smile and saying, hey, how you doing today, can make that difference. And so it's not about just want to talk about it, but we really do want to be about it. And so
Amen.
if you are moved by listening to this broadcast to participate and you want to donate, we are taking donations. And I'm going to just say the Cash App. And if my producer can put it back up on the screen, I would greatly appreciate it. But the Cash App is to $ capital G Gerald GERALD capital D drives. Gerald drives. Capital G Gerald, capital D for drive. Gerald drives. That's the Cash App handle. If you are moved to give, it will help with funding, obviously for the food, but also we're needing the units for the tanks to keep the food warm, to keep the chocolate warm, and all of that. The units themselves are $74, and the tanks are $6. I guess that's the propane tanks that I'm referring to, right?
Correct. Correct.
And there's a special going on where it's 2 for $9, apparently. This is some information that Pastor G sent me. And so again, so if you're able to contribute and make a difference in somebody's life during this holiday season, we encourage you to do so. We know that it's been tough for a lot of folk. If you
Yes.
cannot do that, but you say, you know what, but I want to come and help, we encourage you to do that as well. We'll we should be able to put up the email for the station. And if you can put that also up on the screen, I'm not sure if my producer can put that up. But if you're wanting to volunteer some of your time, again, we're meeting Saturday at 10 a.m. If you're able to do that, then come on down and, just share in the fellowship. Have a
Amen.
moment to, do something outside of yourself. And so, with that being said, and again, we'll have Miss D on probably obviously now after this event to talk about the incredible things that we will have seen and done on next Saturday. But I want to give you a moment, Mr. Norwood, to share any of your final thoughts.
That girl called me Mr. Norwood.
Yes,
Once again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight and to not just talk about love, but to share love.
yes.
Love isn't love until it's given away.
Come on, commission.
Uh,
Yes.
Girl, don't start. Uh, so we're just looking to go out. We're not trying to promote our ministry. We're trying to promote love.
Yes.
Just to let people know that, hey, uh, it's not that God loves me any more than he loves you, or vice versa. It's just that, some people just fall on hard times, and
Absolutely.
many of us are one or two checks from being homeless
Come on,
ourselves.
somebody. Yeah,
So
I can think of some specific people in my life. I think about Renita Henley. If ever you come across this, Renita saved my life. I'd be in jail right now if it weren't for her. I'm just being
wow.
real. Now, you don't need to know what the circumstances was because that's my business. Borrow
I ain't
from
trying to get in
Tabitha.
your business, Deion Sanders.
But there are
Listen,
people that are in my life that have, you know,
Gerald Miller will tell you I've been
fed
to
into my
jail.
life, you know? So,
I've been to jail, so you know.
yes. So
Uh,
it's a
like
real
you said,
thing.
it's about hope.
It's
Because
about hope.
many people have lost hope,
Yeah.
and
So
we just want to go in and share hope.
come on now. That's what it's all about. Hey,
That's
you
it.
know what? We are at the end of the hour. It has
Uh-huh.
flown by, even with our technical difficulties. But so thank you for joining us tonight and
No
being
problem.
part of this
My pleasure.
broadcast. We want to have you come back after the event on Saturday, maybe the following week, and we can talk about all the great things that will have occurred. But thank you for all of you that have been listening or will listen to this rebroadcast. Please, if you are moved to share and make a contribution, we encourage you to do so. It's going to help somebody. So with
Amen.
that being said, I'm going to say good night. Thank
Good
you
night.
for listening. Thank you for sharing, and peace.
Peace.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ. WVTC